And welcome back, my lovelies. Here is part 2 of the How to Cook a Steak Dinner, proudly brought to you by this dog.
Yeah, cool. Now it's time to start dealing with the mushrooms while everything else cooks up. In this bowl, it's hard to see, very hard to see, but I've put about 2 tablespoons of oil, 2 tablespoons of regular soy sauce, and 2 tablespoons of vinegar. That's going to sort of marinate the mushrooms while we cook them. Okay, my preferred way of cooking the mushrooms, cutting the mushrooms, I should say. Cut them like that in half, and then with them lying down, they're a lot easier to chop up and just in there like so. I'll get back to you in a moment. Alright, so as the mushrooms all cut up, filled up a bowl. I didn't cut up all the mushrooms, but you know. The onion's coming along quite nicely. Still a little bit solid. This will require a couple more minutes, maybe turn up the temperature a little. Alright, get back to you in a moment. Yeah, cool, those are now cooked, so I'll transfer them over to the steak plate. Cool, now that they've been transferred over, put the pan back on the heat, grab the mushrooms. Now to be fair, these don't actually take too long to cook up. You can smell that vinegar. If you can't smell the vinegar, either you've got bad sense of smell or it's probably not hot enough. You want to cook the mushrooms up, and then yeah, after a little bit hotter, and back down to low. Actually, I'll turn it off now because they're close enough to. I'll just let that residual heat cook them now. After about 30 seconds in there. Cool. See you back in a moment. Now, I do have a short about how to tell if you've cooked your potatoes. Back of a knife. Oh yeah, these ones just crumble super easy. Cool, these are nicely cooked, so with them being nicely cooked. Cool, now it's time to make up the sauce. It's pretty much just going to be a gravy. So what you of course need is, what I'm going to be using is 1/3 of a cup of flour. No, won't quite use all of that. Just under 1/4 of a cup of flour, say 1/5 of a cup. Yeah, cool, once you've got the flour in, just use it to absorb all the other juices in here. It should form a nice thick paste. Once again, like my last video on how to make the roast pork. Now I'm going to turn the heat back on. Yeah, that's definitely on, cool. And yeah, just let those cook and absorb for half a moment. Now I'll pour some of the water from the potatoes in here. But yeah, while that's on a very low heat for now, going to add half a tablespoon or a bit more of beef stock. Okay, that might be a bit more to 1 tablespoon. And is it? Yep. That should be enough, I hope. Next up, you really just need to break up the flour or dough, or yeah, that's in here now, and just start spreading it around a fair bit, keeping the pan on a very low heat, and that should create quite a nice gravy. It's drain the potatoes. Remember, you should probably have a bit of cold water running, just so you're not damaging the pipes with all the hot water that's coming out. Cool. Not much water was left in there, which is great. Just flush the sink out with a little bit more cold water. Yeah, the gravy unfortunately decided to stay pretty lumpy, which is very unfortunate. But we can live with that. You can just put it through a strainer afterwards if you really want, or just have it lumpy. Turn up the heat a bit because you want to be able to see those heat bubbles coming up. Yeah, it's getting better. That's getting better. That should be about enough cooking now. Turn it off. You can see how it's all just bubbling up. Quite a bit of steam coming off of it. Yeah, you don't really want it to get too hot, but you still want to be able to cook it. It's kind of a weird one. Anyway, as gravy cools down, it will thicken up a bit, so I'll just leave it there for now.